Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live, which is Bad Bitch Intuition 101. Questions and answers all day today. Well, not really all day, but So, do your usual thing. Get comfortable. I brought some solar plexus spray to spray while we were getting started today. And I was spraying it on myself and smelling it. And yeah, I think you know what's coming. I accidentally walked into it with my eyeballs. So my eyeballs also got some solar plexus love. Sometimes you just have to laugh at this stuff, you know? So I hope everyone enjoyed yesterday. Yesterday was a live healing and activation. Hi, Martha. So today's going to be a little bit different because it's all questions and answers. Oh wait, I don't want to make it that big. I'm sorry, I'm talking to myself. Today's going to be a little bit different because it's questions and answers. Some questions I've got already, and some questions are just questions that people have asked throughout the last couple of years. So without further ado, let's dig in. Type your questions below while I do some housekeeping. I think most of you know me, but I know that a few women have joined the group. So hello, my name is Nicole, and I help women reconnect with the wisdom of their womb, reclaiming their power, identity, and joy so that they can break free from old patterns, set clear boundaries, and really embrace their true purpose with confidence and especially with ease. So today we're talking about how to tell the difference between your intuition, your ego, your anxiety. And this is really alive for you if you've ever doubted yourself, if you have second guessed your gut, or if you've leaned on someone else's opinion instead of your own. And I think that external validation is appropriate, definitely, in certain situations. I just think that we as women have learned to lean on other people's thoughts, opinions, feelings more than our own as a piece of societal conditioning. So I really am hoping to break that. I'm hoping to really bring in some more empowerment and energy to women so that they can trust themselves. So let's start breaking down some myths. Hi, Angie. I keep looking over here because the right screen is telling me that you're here and your emojis, and the left screen where I'm looking at you is not doing anything. So drop one of your favorite emojis below if you're here so that we can hopefully get Facebook to start working properly. Like I said before, no questions too big or too small. Ask anything you want. So let's start with one question that I know a lot of you had. How do you know if it's your intuition or if it's just your anxiety? Here's the difference. Anxiety feels like chaos, feels like urgency, and it feels like a lot of spiraling thoughts, right? And anxiety, hi Sharon, thank you for your emoji. It's working now on that screen. Okay, good. So anxiety is really, heavy and overwhelming because it stems from fear. Whereas intuition, this comes from a very calm, a very grounded space. And even if the message is really unexpected from your intuition, it's going to feel really clear, it's going to feel really direct, and it's not going to feel frantic. Now, the more that you can listen to your intuition, the easier it is to tell the difference. Sharon probably remembers this, and you too, Angie and Martha, because I think you're all generators, or some of you are manifesting generators. But I know that in human design, you guys are all gut people. I have told my clients before that when you really feel like you're struggling to connect with your intuition, your gut instincts, to start keeping a list of those gut instincts or that intuition so that you can really start teaching your ego and your logical mind, your mental body, that it's okay to trust that very subtle little gut punch that subtle intuition, that subtle instinct. When we literally see that list on paper, it's like black and white. There is really no denying it. And that helps our subconscious to really see that that is our reality. We've got to remember that our subconscious is running 90 to 95% of our lives. And that subconscious is built from the times that we are born all the way until we're about 8, a little bit to the year 12. So your little girl is running the show. And we want this little girl to feel calm. We want her to feel confident. We want her to really trust herself, okay? So making that list is one of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give you if you're wondering what is the difference between anxiety, intuition, ego, all of that. Start there. Hi, Angie. Oh, I love your emojis. Dang it, I forgot my glasses again. Okay, those are so cute. Oh, I love Little Fairy. And the witch. And the mermaid. And the and I think it's a woman meditating. It almost looks like a candle from here. Okay, I'm going to move on to my second question. Like I said, type any questions that you have. If you're watching the replay, always, as always, type replay, but you can also ask questions, okay? So, second question that I always receive. Can everyone be intuitive? 100,000% yes, okay? Intuition is very much just like a muscle. Everybody has it. But you have to use it to strengthen it. So the more that you trust and the more that you act on your intuition, the clearer it becomes. Like I said yesterday, you would not expect to go to a personal trainer and lose 20 pounds overnight or become a bulk bodybuilder, right? I couldn't think of the name. No, you wouldn't. You know better than that. Well, then why are you treating your healing or your intuition any other way? It works the same way. Every single one of us is innately born worthy and deserving and enough. Innately, we are born with this beautiful gift of intuition, even men. However, with women, we are conditioned to believe that we must put everyone before us and that everyone else matters first. And then at the end of the day, we can take care of ourselves when we've got little tiny little crumbs left. That is not the case. You deserve more than that. You deserve to put yourself first so that you can take care of yourself and everyone else. So what is the first step then to getting back into it? Like I already said, you can start creating that running journal where you created a list of every time that you've heard your gut instincts or your intuition, and then what happened when you followed it. Because the more that you can, again, show your subconscious, okay, I listened to my gut. Here's a good example. Sheila, I don't know if you're on live. I went to a networking event on Monday night. It's a quarterly networking event where I live. And it's always on Monday nights, so I'm just going to be honest with you. Sometimes I don't feel like going out and leaving my bra on. I would rather stay home and get into the bath and watch TV or read or pull oracle cards. Hi, Nay. No, it's not streaming on YouTube, but I am going to download it and upload it onto YouTube later. So you will have it on YouTube soon. Anyways, I just don't really like going out at night, okay? I'd rather be braless, right? And in my bathtub or in my hot tub that I finally got fixed after 6 months. Whole different story for another day. So, but my intuition was like, no, you really need to go. You really just like need to have a little kombucha and you get your butt up and you need to go because you're going to meet some great people. So just get going. So I did. I went and I got my butt there. And I met a lot of really great women. And I talked about having orgasms at 60 or 70 years old. I bet that's not what you were expecting for me to say right now. I know. But it felt very empowering. It felt like I was able to really let my throat open in a very safe and secure space, in a very sacred space where I was welcomed with love and with acceptance. So that's an example of me trusting my intuition. because ever since then, women have messaged me or come up to me and just said, like, I would really like some help in connecting to my sacral and connecting to my womb and having orgasms again and feeling happier again. Okay, so had I listened to my ego, which was, I don't really feel like going, I would like to stay home and watch trash TV, then I wouldn't have gone and grown outside of my comfort zone. So that's another little hint there. Your intuition is always trying to help you grow outside of your comfort zone. So sometimes it feels really uncomfortable because it's not comfortable. It's truth. It is the truth. It pushes you towards change or it calls you out of that comfort zone. So it doesn't create panic. Although I did feel a little panic when Lori was like, here, everybody use the microphone. I didn't really enjoy that. I love talking like this. I can't see you guys, but when you leave me comments, I do love it. You know, I love my emojis and reactions, but like, it's a little different than when I have a microphone. Okay? So in that moment, even when I had the microphone, I didn't feel panic. Well, okay, I probably did a little bit, let's be completely honest, but I just felt scared of judgment and felt like, oh, I haven't done this for a long time with a microphone. You know, I hope that I speak loud enough and I'm not too close to the speaker to make it do that sound. So it's not that exact chaotic panic that anxiety creates. It's something that you know is challenging you to step into something bigger and better than your fears. And intuition is so quiet. It is so subtle. Unlike your ego, that is usually maybe sometimes yelling, but very loud, right? The mind really loves to analyze, question, create noise, which was really what was going through my head, right? With the microphone. I was analyzing. I was questioning. I was creating a lot of noise internally. But intuition is really simple and really direct. And in fact, when I was sitting there on Monday night, I had a whole different thing that I was going to talk about. I wasn't going to talk about orgasms, but I could tell that energetically in the room, women needed to hear that message that they are simply good enough to have an orgasm. And that trusting themselves to get there is the key to it. It was like a little soft nudge that I needed while I was sitting listening to all these other women talk. It was just an inner knowing. So practices like quieting your mind through meditation or breath work or grounding practices can really help you hear it more clearly. And if you're like me, sometimes when you're sitting down to meditate or laying down, either A, you might fall asleep, or B, your mind is just chatter, 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 chatterbox, right? Give me a hand raise if you ever feel like that when you're meditating. It's like you have never heard your mind talk so much than when you sit down to be quiet and peaceful and meditate. When I am feeling like that, it's usually because I'm a little scattered, a little ungrounded. So what I do in those moments is just a really easy grounding exercise, which includes breath work. So imagining that your roots are growing, or maybe they're there all the time through out of the bottoms of your feet. Just seeing them, sensing them, feeling them, growing down through the foundation of your house or whatever building you're in, through the grass, through the dirt, and I just go through all the layers of the earth until I reach the core. And then in the core, I wrap my roots around a big anchor. My husband is active duty Navy, so one of our family symbols is just a huge anchor. So I really love to have that, a big, big, huge anchor in the core of the earth with my roots wrapped around it. It's just something that's meaningful to me and impactful to me. Maybe you have something like that that you could also leave in the core of the earth to wrap your roots around. And then I let that energy from Mother Nature run back up those roots and into my body. And this whole time, I'm taking big, deep breaths in through my nose, sighing out through my mouth. Sometimes I'm also doing VU breathing. VU is in like Victor. Breathing in through your nose and then chanting VU, which I'll do right now. VU. When you're chanting it, you want to play with the pitch a little bit. Make it reverberate throughout your entire throat and into your chest, out through your arms. And that's actually been shown to eliminate trauma from our body. So once I've moved energy through my body, I'm able to sit down and meditate a little bit more peacefully. Martha says, another quality of true intuition is imagination. Yes, almost lyrical, often humorous and fun and childlike. The meditation channel chatter is what drove me to do walking meditations until I heard yoga nidra or guided meditations. I love that. I couldn't agree with you more, Martha. I think that as children, young children, we have such a beautiful gift of our intuition. And often when women come to me talking about their intuitive struggles, I do ask them to get back in touch with their imagination. And even yesterday in a past life regression, she was saying, I'm afraid that this is just my mind coming up with some of this stuff, that she couldn't trust it. And I completely understand that feeling. There are still times actually when I feel that way. Yesterday I was telling you all about how I just realized that Spooky is one of my familiars because I was giving like every excuse in the world that she wasn't my familiar just because it seemed too easy and that it didn't match up exactly of what I thought. Ego, hello, analyzing. Intuition is simple, it is direct, it is a soft little nudge. You know, and actually, while we're talking about imagination, what's the difference between intuition and wishful thinking? Wishful thinking is really fueled by desire and fantasy mixed with a little bit of avoidance of reality, okay? It can feel a little forced or overly optimistic, whereas intuition is definitely playful, like Martha said, and lyrical and humorous. It's like more imaginative, but a little bit more like it's also neutral. It's not really about what you want to be true, it's about what is true. And I think that's where that childlike joy and peace comes into play here, Martha, because it's really just about what is true. And children are so present. They're so physically, emotionally, mentally present in the moment. They know what is true because they're fully there. They're not off thinking about the future or the past. They're just right here, right now. All right. I have two other questions. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Can my intuition be wrong? So, intuition itself is very, very rarely wrong. However, the interpretation of it can definitely be tricky because we can overlay our own fears, our own desires, our own past experiences onto an intuitive nudge, which distorts that message. So, the more that you practice listening to your intuition and acting on it, the better you're going to be at discerning true intuition from that mental noise. And speaking of human design, I'm a manifesting generator with an emotional authority, which just means that I've got to clear some emotions first in order to hear my gut. I don't always have to, but sometimes if I'm not getting a strong yes, then I've got to just move my body to clear some emotions or do that grounding exercise that I shared earlier. I know that my gut is talking to me and giving me a hell yes about something, which gut, intuition, instincts, I'm talking about it's all the same thing. I know it because I physically feel it in my body. So how can you make your intuition stronger? Listen to your body, because it often talks to you through sensations, through chills, through just that like gut feeling in your stomach. It's an inner yes. I will feel it in my gut, a little bit in like my sacral and sometimes in my solar plexus, and then it just rushes up my body. And that's how I know that it's a yes. Sometimes I also get chills, though that hasn't happened very much in the last few years, but I know that a lot of women will get chills when their confirmation is a yes. So connect back to your body, listen to those sensations. And, Martha was talking about yoga nidra or walking meditation. That's such a beautiful way to get back into touch with your body, because when you're walking, you're keeping your ego a bit busy. It's busy looking and walking at your surroundings, right? And plus, if you're doing it outside, you're in nature, which is going to help boost your immune system. It's going to give endorphins. It's going to help you to become happier. But it's also going to help you spend time in stillness, in that meditation. With yoga nidra, it's the same thing, right? You're spending time in that stillness, but you're really connecting to your body. I love to do a lot of somatics, and the Workout Witch is one of my favorite humans in this world. She's on Instagram, that's her handle. And she teaches us how to physically move these emotions and feelings out of our body so that we can actually hear our body again, so that we can move out of fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and transition into that parasympathetic nervous system when we're sleeping. Or so that we can come from a more neutral, detached place. So that when you do have your intuition speak up, you're not wondering, is it my intuition? Or is it my ego? Is it my fears? Is it anxiety? You're not coming from that chaotic space. You're coming from a very grounded, trusting space. Another hint is to practice daily check-ins. So ask yourself very simple yes or no questions and see how your body reacts to that. That is, again, something that I tell every single generator and manifesting generator. Yes or no questions, this or that questions. And that can go for you projectors and reflectors as well. Because at the end of the day, what it's going to do is it's going to help you trust yourself and trust your body and get back in touch with your desires. Start keeping a log of, okay, what does it feel like when my body is giving that hell yes response? What does it feel like when it's unsure? What does it feel like when it's a no? Keep a log of this. And then when you review it, you're going to notice the differences. And they're going to grow from being subtle to being a bit louder, a bit stronger, because you're used to it and you know it and you've turned inward. You've turned your attention into it. So you're noticing it. You're aware of it. And then because you're aware of it, you're going to act on even more of your nudges in even small ways. Just following your intuition is building trust. And, okay, actually I've got 2 more questions. So I want to recap that the ego is not bad. It just operates from self-preservation, fear, and past conditioning. Our ego is a blessing because our ego does keep us safe. It's not all bad. It keeps us safe. But in turn, that means it wants to keep us small. Back to my example on Monday night. My ego wanted to keep me small. But my intuition was guiding me to growth and expansion. So throughout this whole live, you've gotten some tips on how to recognize when your ego is speaking, or anxiety, or your mind versus intuition. So how can you balance both intuition and logic? Because we've got to use them both. It's so simple. Using the logic to assess practical details, okay? and then using intuition to guide that bigger picture. If something feels deeply right, but it seems illogical, explore why. Just go down that breadcrumb trail. Because sometimes the intuition leads in ways that the mind cannot understand. You've got to remember that if our subconscious has not seen an example of something before, it doesn't understand it, which just means it doesn't believe it. Which is why we want to have people around us who are expanding our thoughts, expanding our beliefs, because we're teaching our subconscious what is possible. Martha, maybe sometime we could talk or teach divine muscle testing to help folks begin to differentiate between intuition. Yes, that is actually something that I am going to teach in the intuition course starting Tuesday, but also, I don't think I have my pendulum close. I don't. Pendulums are an extremely useful tool as well, because I know that some people feel like they don't trust themselves enough for muscle testing, but they'll trust themselves enough with a pendulum. And pendulum is just a little crystal hanging from like a chain, and you work with it to get a yes answer, you work with it to get a no answer or a maybe, not yet. But there are so many tools to tap into that innate wisdom. So many tools. We just haven't been taught them, like Martha's saying. All right, my loves. That's really all I have for today. If after I get off you have a question, you're more than welcome to put it in the comments below, because I will circle back and answer it. I appreciate you all joining today. And of course, you all know by now that the intuition course is starting on Tuesday. So what we're doing is it's a 7-week course on Zoom. It is recorded. It's on Tuesdays at 12 Eastern time, 12 to about 1:15. Giving an extra little pad of time there just in case, because week by week, basically what we're doing is we're going through different intuitive types. They're called clairs. So if you're someone who gets chills, that would be a clairsentient, because your senses are taking over. If you're someone who just receives divine knowings, like you just know things, that's claircognizance. If you're someone who can see things, that's clairvoyance. That's like the typical psychic that we all know and love, right? And then clairaudient would be hearing. That's like a medium who can talk to those who are no longer in our 3D realm here on Earth. So we're going to go over those very deeply. Again, I know some of you took Excavate Your Intuition, so it's a little similar to that, but this is so much deeper, because I've really felt the calling in 2025 in particular to help women really dive deeply on themselves, their authenticity, their intuition, their soul, to actually connect to their soul, to connect to their higher self, to connect to their spirit guides. That's one of the most popular questions I get all the time, is how can I connect to my spirit guides? Right here, right now. Learning what your strongest clair is right now and drilling down on it and working with your intuition. And one of the things that I absolutely love about this course is that it's combining so many different things that it is unlike anything I've ever seen before. It is combining the healing of Reiki, meaning you are receiving Reiki. You don't have to know Reiki to be in it. You're going to be receiving it. You're also receiving ancient wisdom and medicine from Goddess Selene, who's the goddess of the moon and intuition. So she's going to be helping us with some Reiki infused activations every week. But then you've also got the practical knowledge side, because you have to combine the logic and the intuition. This is like a course that we all would have went through in Atlantis and Lemuria. It is a mystery school course. It is here to teach you the 3D stuff, but also the higher dimensional stuff. It's making that combination. It is such a beautiful alchemy. So if you're ready and you want to sign up, You can comment below. I'm ready. You can send me a message on Facebook or wherever you're at. Text me, email me. The payment plans on Klarna start at $50 a month. So when you click that Stripe link, you just have to click Klarna and it'll show you all of your options on that or Affirm. So that's all I've got. Tomorrow we are meeting at 12, 12 Eastern. And tomorrow is all about really connecting with that inner witch. So we're going to do something really different. We're going to combine movement and journaling and some energy healing to activate your divine feminine. Okay, so come ready tomorrow with a journal in one of your comfy spots in your house or outside if your Wi-Fi works out there, and dig in with me, okay? All right, my loves, I love you all. Thank you so much for showing up today and spending time with me. I will see you all tomorrow.